Former Illinois Republican Party Chairman Pat Brady.
Oh boy.
I almost let this one slip by, and I am compelled to comment on it. Former Illinois Republican Party Chairman
I
Pat
thought
Brady.
you two kissed and made up.
How did
I
you
don't
think
know.
that?
I don't know.
Yeah, just make stuff up. Biden.
No, because I don't know. I can't keep up.
It's pretty simple. Go back and watch the little City Club
Oh, I remember that. I
chat
was
we
there.
had
Yeah.
5 years ago, and also go back and watch it and tell me who was right about what was coming and what has come over the subsequent 5 years.
You were 100% correct.
People should watch it. Pat Brady, who at that City Club, sort of brandish his conservative credentials. He's a Republican. He's a conservative. He's pro-life, for example, and it's unfortunate that Pat Brady is such an example of the conniving man, because I was friendly with him, and I'm mad at myself because I gave him the benefit of the doubt for much longer than I should have. And I was friends. I mean, I went to his wife's funeral service. His wife, Julie, was a beautiful woman.
Yeah. I've heard always wonderful things.
Tragically died young from cancer. And so, I was friendly with them, and I liked them both. I really liked Julie. I liked Pat, played golf with Pat.
And we had his brother, Dan Brady, on when he was running for Secretary of
Not
State.
his brother.
Not his brother, cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends with, but I was also friends with at least one of Pat's brothers. Two of Pat's brothers, I think I played golf with. But, politics, I guess, corrupts a lot of people, or it exposes the corruption, the darkness that lies in certain men's hearts. Turn out to be not much of a man. Pat Brady's one of them. I'm pro-life. I may disagree with Dan or the people on this. First, he flipped on marriage redefinition when he was state party chairman, unilaterally. No consideration for the other members of the Republican Central Committee. I mean, I'm telling this story not for the purposes of grinding axes, but for the purposes of explaining to you, the listener, again, why there is no Republican Party. Where is the response? The Republican Party in Illinois was destroyed from within. And every time you seem to be able to point to somebody and say, well, at least we have, well, that person turns out to be, well, we talked about it yesterday. James Mendrick, the sheriff of DuPage County, supposed to be a conservative. Law enforcement think that's a slam dunk. And yet he behaves like a Cook County Democrat hack in response to his agency's response to a mass shooting in Willowbrook, dismissing anybody who had questions about what happened. And 4 months, not a public utterance, not an answer to a question, no arrests,
And
no explanations.
And asking a question is that they're acting like you're affecting the investigation and the outcome of it. No, we're just wondering, like, the names and ages of the victims, like, who was out there. We're talking teenagers? Are we talking curfew violations as well? And if there were, why don't you stop it until they waited till the shooting happened at like 2 a.m?
Pat Brady, destroying the Republican Party from within. Personal PAC, one of the strongest abortion rights organizations in Illinois, announced the addition of 3 new board members. Pat Brady. Pro-abortion Personal PAC, which is indistinguishable from Planned Parenthood at a state level in Illinois, if you know anything about them. Personal PAC, abortion on demand, all 9 months, taxpayer funded, as radical a Marxist organization as exists in this state, more radical than SEIU, more radical than the teachers union. Funded by a bunch of eugenicist ghouls on the North Shore. And your former Republican State Party chairman, who just 5 minutes ago was professing how he's pro-life, he's a good Republican, new board member. Of course. Once you flip, You flip on everything. I just have a disagreement with you about this fundamental issue, this fundamental institution. No, you don't. You're a quisling. And that's what Pat Brady is. A related story, just to tell you again who we're talking about, Personal PAC, Planned Parenthood. This is the same. They're indistinguishable. Washington Free Beacon expose. Planned Parenthood is helping teenagers transition after a 30-minute consult.
30 minutes?
Fred has a history of development issues. He was diagnosed with autism at age 4, struggled with depression and anxiety as he got older, was expelled from 3 different special needs schools due to behavioral problems, stemming in part from an impulse control order. He's an 18-year-old high school student in New Jersey who lives with his parents, who asked the Washington Free Beacon to withhold his real name. Fred cycles through obsessions and extreme views. He was part of an alt-right group chat as recently last year, his parents said, but apostatized suddenly and now considers himself far left. In December of 2022, at 17 years old, he announced he was transgender. Now he's a woman. He wanted to go to a clinic at Children's National Hospital, the Gender and Autism Program, Children's National Hospital, the only gender clinic in the country specializing in autistic youth. Fred was determined to take hormones, they told the clinic, which is known for its lengthy assessments. Before he did, they wanted to be sure his dysphoria wasn't transient or peer-driven. The clinic that informed them in March, the family, it had wait lists of about a year. Fred wasn't willing to wait. In late July, while his parents were out of town and after he had come of age, Fred went to Planned Parenthood, which prescribes hormones to any legal adult without a letter from a therapist or a formal diagnosis of gender dysphoria. The only requirement is a brief consultation with a nurse practitioner about the drug's effects, which range from mood swings and male pattern baldness to permanent infertility. Fred arrived at the local clinic in Montclair, New Jersey around 11 a.m., according to the phone tracking data his parents used to monitor his whereabouts. By 11:39, they received a text message from CVS that Fred's estrogen prescription was on its way.
Remember, you used to have to wait a year to have any type of drugs prescribed or any type of surgeries performed.
The Illinois Republican Party, the former state party chairman, think about that. I mean, really think about it. And all of the pronouncements and all of the platforming Pat Brady got, because he's a complete media whore and a whore in every other way. Lobbyist for these Marxist organizations in Springfield, where he yucks it up with future convicted felons like Tom Cullerton, which he did. I got the picture. Pat Brady, the good Republican Party chairman, yucking it up with Tom Cullerton, Dem union ghost payroller. That's the combine. The combine is more than the graft. It's the selling of souls. And Pat Brady sold his. He's a disgrace. And I apologize to conservatives and Republicans in the state for not seeing this more clearly earlier on. My mistake. Terrible, terrible human being. Not just politically wrong. We have disagreements about races, Ronner versus Ives. He is a slime merchant, a soulless slime merchant for the worst people in this country. And it's not just about abortion, as per the story the Washington Free Beacon reports. And Pat Brady's on board for all of it. You want to understand why nobody wants to show up for Republican Party events? It's because nobody's ever wrong except me. Nobody's ever accountable for what they've done. There's no internal policing of not just bad actors politically, the politically promiscuous, bad humans who will take everyone around them down with them. Who wants to be a part of that? What sensible, decent person who's got all sorts of other competing obligations and interests wants to be a part of that? Pat Brady is the worst thing to happen to the Illinois Republican Party. And this is a statement. I started, my first race was out of Northwestern in 1994, state rep race on the North Shore. So that's 3 decades. Pat Brady is the worst thing to happen to the Illinois Republican Party since I started. A lot of competition for that title, but I'm awarding it to Pat Brady. David in Lansing.